am desperate to bring you this story. I have infiltrated a Channel migrant smuggling gang, and I'm about to make a mockery of Sir Keir Starmer's claims that he's doing everything to smash them. Within minutes, you find profiles like this on TikTok. The profile makes it clear that he regularly gets people from northern France across the Channel and into Britain.
طقس ربي يبارك ها شو رايك وجمعة وراحات شوف ما شاء الله شوف الاجواء الله اكبر الاجواء جدا جميله والاجواء جدا رائعه يومكم طيب هلا والله هلا يلا يا سيدي اجواءك وفعالياتك شمر لي درعانك ويا سيدي مرحبا.
So we reached out on TikTok posing as a Vietnamese migrant who wanted to take a small boat to Britain. He then gave us his personal phone number and we communicated via WhatsApp. He confirmed that he was in France. He sent us the exact locations of several different boat launches. He quoted us €1,500 for the crossing. We asked if he does this often, and the quote is, "Yes, it's my job." He then sent us more locations as recently as yesterday. So we said, where are you going to get the boats from? How do we get there? We want to get on a boat that's going to take us from northern France across the Channel to Britain. And he sent us a location yesterday of where to get that boat, pinpointed it on a map. And then we kept putting him off for obvious reasons. There he is, you see. That's exactly where one of those boats was setting off from today. He started sending us voice notes confirming that he was organising illegal crossings into Britain.
Hello, my friend, how are you? My friend, you must tomorrow come here in Cali, and after tomorrow we go, inshallah. Okay? You must tomorrow to come here the morning, and we go there in the mountain, and after tomorrow we go, inshallah.
No, my friend, tomorrow. No, after tomorrow. Because tomorrow in the afternoon we go to UK, okay?
So we have cast iron proof of who this guy is, what his phone number is, so authorities can track him. If you know someone's phone number, you can track their exact location. We have proof that he's part of a smuggling gang, and we have the exact times and locations of when and where his boats are launching from. So we handed his phone number, our entire communications and his locations to the National Crime Agency here in Britain and the French authorities. 400 illegal immigrants broke into Britain today alone. We have also infiltrated another gang and passed all of their information onto the authorities. And I will have more news on that for you when we are allowed. This is an embarrassment for the Prime Minister. For all of his talk...
He promised that he would stop the boats this year.
I think the way to stop the boats is to smash the criminal gangs.
People crossing in small boats across the Channel. We have to stop that.
For all of the money that Chancellor Rachel Reeves announced today, more than 600 million quid to tackle illegal immigration, for all of the hundreds of millions that British taxpayers have sent to the French, what we did here at GB News, we've been able to do it in a couple of days for next to no money at all. And we've found people smugglers, we've identified them, we've obtained all the incriminating evidence you would need for a prosecution, we've got their voice on record and their exact locations. It was easy. I am convinced that if we had 5 people in this office working on it full-time, GB News would smash more gangs than the Labour government. It's over to the authorities now, though, isn't it? Let's get thoughts from our panel this evening. We've got the Director of the Popular Conservatives, Mark Littlewood. We also have the big shot at the Daily Express. It's Christian Calgie and broadcaster extraordinaire, Nina Mishkov. So, Mark, it's over to the authorities now. We literally, short of me going and meeting them, which, by the way, I literally could have done because I know exactly where they are pretty much at all times, short of me going there and slashing about myself, we could not have done more. It is as easy as that to find out who some of these people are. We're not doing everything we possibly can as a country to stop them.
I don't know what you're doing here, Patrick. You should be the new head of Border Force, shouldn't you? I mean, I appreciate these are snapshots, and I was trying to get the precise numbers about how the smashing the gang's going. I think there's only been 5 arrests so far. I might be wrong on that, but that's the information that I've found. And I think you're right. It should be pretty easy to mop these people up. Obviously, there's an issue that they're on French territory. We need to get that working, but we are paying the French hundreds of millions. And you would think, again, the deterrent effect. Once you'd rounded up, 10, 20, 30, 40 of these people, a lot of them would take a very, very different view of it. So the smash the gangs thing, I think, from the Labour Party and the government has turned out to be a slogan, not a policy or a strategy. I think you're right. GB News seem to be carrying this out at least as well, if not better, than Border Force.
I don't know what our viewers and listeners think about this. I find it personally offensive that we are continuously being told, Christian, that they're doing everything they can to smash the gangs, that we're giving more money to the French, when actually, if I called a human trafficker now, I could get him on the phone, and if you actually had anything about you as the police force, you could pinpoint his exact location, you could go and nab him. It is as easy as that.
Yeah, look, it's a combination of French laziness and British government laziness. It was Dominic Cummings, was it just a couple of weeks ago? He did an interview on Sky News. He said, you could easily so-called smash the gangs. You get the SAS involved, you fly them over, you do these sort of scoping exercises, you get the location, you extradite 10 or so in a night, you bring them over, you do a show trial, and you let every single people trafficker know that every single one of their TikTok posts will be targeted by British intelligence, and we'll swoop in and we'll get them, and that's it, that's done. You could do it. You could do it in 1 or 2 months, and if the French don't like it, well, they can go swivel.
No, you cannot just parachute the SAS.
Of course you can.
You cannot.
Of course you
can. It's unbelievable.
Of course you can. If the French don't like it, they've already been invaded. They should get used to it.
So they parachute the French equivalent of the French Foreign Legion into Dover.
To do what?
To do what?
Take them back.
I'm saying, I'm trying to show you the equivalent. Of course
we're being invaded.
That is. You didn't mind the Spanish being in control of the Gibraltar passport system earlier, so you're not that bothered, are you?
I am certainly bothered about that. But I was also bothered
sovereignty
about...
for thee, not for me.
No, and that's absolutely not it. You cannot just parachute into another person's country.
Well, you'd hope the French authorities would lift them.
No.
We're paying them hundreds of million pounds.
It doesn't look very good, 3 men against one woman. Give me a chance, for God's sake. First of all, the whole problem with this is that the French have not cooperated to the extent we want them. Secondly, the laws of the French land meant that they couldn't go into the water to stop the boats. Now they're changing that. So the French are coming on side gradually. Next, and you can laugh at this, but Macron is coming over here for a state visit with King Charles. That is soft power. That is twisting his arm up his back to get more cooperation. Also, Starmer has gone to Albania. He's also gone to Maloney, who is not the political bedfellow of the Labour government, but she has much more experience and she's tougher. So he's trying everything. I agree. What you did was absolutely brilliant, but you can't expect Keir Starmer to suddenly go and do that.
The point is, if we are constantly being told through the rhetoric of this Labour government that this is basically a national emergency, it's keeping him awake at night. He hates it. If I was him, I would hate the idea that a relatively chubby northern TV presenter has been able to get hold of 2 people smuggling gangs, give you everything you could possibly need to know about them, including every single shred of evidence you would need to be able to convict those people, and play it out on national television. I'm going to keep doing this. Keep playing out national television and ask, what are your authorities doing about it?
I think this is very fair. And although I'm intrigued that Christian would send in the SAS, I wonder whether we can actually find a slightly more straightforward economic solution with the French, which I think I've suggested to you before, Patrick. We'll pay them by results, right? So if we can't go in and lift these people, we will send their pin on a particular map, and we'll say, if you lift this person and hand him over to British authorities, we will pay you X. I don't know what the particular bounty will be. We're setting aside whatever it is, 400, 500 million pounds to pay for all of this. Each one that you catch, we'll give you 100 grand, sake of argument.
OK, but another easy solution as well is, and I saw this firsthand from when I actually bothered to go around Calais and around those areas there, that they're all organising it on TikTok, which is what really gave me the idea to go and have a look at these things, and we work with a couple of other people as well on this. And you could get... I mean, TikTok isn't a state, right? It's not France. It's a social media company. You could... Yeah, OK, fair enough. Maybe it's got a whiff of China about it. However, but you could get them, surely, that company, to take all of these things down, do it more quickly. I mean, we've gone to TikTok, we've asked them why they're allowing all of this stuff on there. You know, it's not difficult, is it, to do all of this stuff?
Mm-hmm. No, it's not. But, you know, it's the pace, it's the sheer... It just seems Starmer is in autopilot and he doesn't really care about the issue, and he's been wanging on about this for 12 months now.
Why do you think he doesn't care?
Because this is not treating it like an emergency.
He fundamentally doesn't care. In his mind, the only thing that matters is the adherence to international so-called humanitarian law and the UN Convention on Refugees and the ECHR.
He doesn't want
He doesn't
open
care. As long as his mates in the international law and order are happy.
You know, that's such a ridiculously
He's been
childish
Imagine if he'd been in charge of Dunkirk and be like, yeah, all right, we'll get you some rescue boats in 12 months. It's not good enough. Pull your finger out.
No, that is absolutely, that's ludicrous. That's typical Daily Express just shouting into a void.
Can I ask you, Sue, when you hear the clips that we've played there of those human traffickers and showing you the evidence, I mean, by the way, there's a lot of stuff, as I'm sure everyone can understand, that we've held back for a variety of different reasons, right? But those are not the attitudes of people who are bothered about Keir Starmer smashing them, are they? They're not scared of the gangs. They're not scared of Keir Starmer.
No, because that's my job. That's how he makes his living. So he doesn't care about any of that. I understand that, but why should he care about Keir Starmer?
Because we should be. If we were doing anything, they would feel a bit more uncomfortable than that, wouldn't they?
We don't know that they're not.
Okay.
Well, they don't
seem to. I mean,
you don't get drug dealers advertising on TikTok, right? That's the difference. They are so brazen, they don't care that their face is on social media.
Well, then perhaps you've shown them the way, Patrick.
You've done a brilliant... It doesn't look like there's much of a deterrent.
Nobody else has done it. No newspaper has done it.
Fair enough.
So good for you.
Thank you.